when you build a product and you launch it in the market, and like you said, people will use it in different ways. What view do you take at that point that when people use it in a lot of different ways, one function that serves is that it uncovers new use cases that you may not have thought of the product. How do you manage those two?
See, at the end of the day, you have to, first of all, you have to have a very clear objective of what this product is supposed to do, or a problem statement or a need that you're really going after.
Yeah.
Now, does that need get solved by using path A or path B or path C? Should be immaterial according to me, as long as the user thinks that the problem has been solved. Like as a product manager, and I keep on giving this advice to product managers too, first of all, you shouldn't be married to your product at all. You shouldn't be emotional about your product.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to completely take a 180-degree view of it if it comes to it, because if the customer feels that the product is not solving problem, you can continue to push it, continue to shove it down somebody's throat. It's never going to create the impact that it's supposed to. So if you build a product A and it's supposed to work in a particular path B, let's say, but the person who's supposed to use it say, hey, path C is actually much better for me. You have to figure out the right path there. You have to, tune, maybe there's a path in the middle between B and C to say, this is the middle ground, because there is some level of subjective intelligence that the product manager will have to apply to say, hey, I can understand why this could be so, but here's what you need to sort of also do to make it more efficient. See, because any change in product will always have, muscle memory resistance. That's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
Like the moment you change specifically a product that has been running or people have been using a particular process and you tell them to adopt it different way. Like all of us get uncomfortable the moment the Facebook feed UI changes, right?
Yeah.
If the feed starts looking different, where images are smaller, CTAs are different, there's an ad, etc. Like the first few
there's dissonance, cognitive dissonance.
And Twitter is going to be flooded to see, hey, what the F that Facebook has done, and I'm not able to use it. But 3 weeks later, you realize that this is better for me. And they've put a lot of science behind it, a lot of experiments to understand why engagement or reply time or understanding or cognitive load, etc. could be better if you go from product X to product X 1.1 version. So I think that is where product manager intelligence really comes into play. Where how can you marry some of these signals that are coming from multiple fronts? The other key aspect there is, in my mind, product managers or product people really need to be subject matter experts in the areas that they're handling. Like, see, if I'm building a product, let's say for supply chain or warehouse or for ticketing systems or for customer service, I need to know how that industry works. I need to know how that function works, because otherwise I'll just become, a note taker. Like I'll have business people or stakeholders come to me, say, I need this X. Can you build this for me? And you'll just go and end up building it. But your intelligence needs to come in there to say, hey, okay, now I know Fs. It brings along a lot of healthy debate with the right person to say, hey, why is this needed, not needed? I understand the industry as well. Here are the metrics. Here are the examples from best practices. Here are the benchmarks that are available in the industry. This is how competition is doing it, etc., etc., etc. Basis which you end up bringing a better use case to light versus something which is plain vanilla as an ask that could come from a stakeholder. The second is you actually, you can empathize on saying, hey, what is the problem that I'm going to solve for? Versus just a feature to say, I want this button that is going to invoke this particular workflow and send this, communication out. Like I'm really trying to understand what is this solving for in the larger system. So spending time and really getting up to speed on that industry, becoming a subject matter expert is really going to be key for any product person working on creating impactful products, be it internal or external.
And I would just add one other thing to that absolutely being a subject matter expert and then having the curiosity always switched on whenever somebody brings a requirement to you, to have the curiosity to try and figure out what are they trying to achieve, what are the, the lay of the land, mental lay of the land for the user, right? Absolutely.